All right, so once I have done that, right, so I've done my work, I've pushed it to the repository, so I've gone ahead and I've added the commit, I've got the commit done, and I've got it all set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a pull request. So I can either click on this, or if I'm lucky enough, the timing is right, I can actually click on compare and pull request. But I'm going to do from pull request here. I'm going to click new pull request. And this is where it's kind of tricky, but we're gonna pay attention to it. The base is going to be where it's going to and where we're going to start. Okay, so I want it to go to, you can see the arrow kind of helps a little bit. I want to go to release 1.0, and I want to go from our feature. So our feature to this, and you will see that we do have one file change. That's good because I did make a change. And you will see the commits that were involved in that. So if I needed to, I can look at the individual commits. It'll also give us a glance down here, the file that was changed down there that's set up. So that's kind of nice. You can also do that without actually, if you just need to check on something, you can do this check here without having to create a pull request and create like an actual record, but we can just look at it and kind of compare the two different things. Like, is there a difference between these two? And it knows, it'll find the only difference. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and create pull request, and you will notice there is a template that is right here. We're gonna fill this out. So description of change. This is very similar to the commit because the commit was only one thing, but I updated the title of the LWC per acceptance criteria. User story link. So if I have a user story, if you're using Jira or something, you can grab that. You could paste it there. Capado, if you're using Capado, you would take it and you would paste it there. This will be helpful for whomever is reviewing this. They'll be able to go in there and check that out. New metadata. So if you did put anything there, we did not. So I'm going to put none. Notes for testing. Make sure you refresh the cache and browser to show the difference. All right, and then down here we've got a couple, just a code checklist, just kind of a thing for us to think about as we go through. So does the PR produce a clean report? Most of the time, whenever you're working in a DevOps process, there's going to be some automation done, and there's some checks, some code scans, some best practices that are going through there, some Apex tests, for instance, with our SFDX stuff. So if my code scan came through clean, I'm going to do that right there. Sometimes it'll also run after you've made the pull request. So you could actually run it and then afterwards go in there and check that off. Does this PR avoid functionality, redundancy, or already existing work? And so this is kind of like, am I recreating, am I reinventing the wheel? Am I recreating work that has already been in existence? And in this case, I am not. Does this PR follow our conventions, right? So whatever group you're in, whatever team that you're a part of, you want to be thinking through, am I following the conventions? If we're doing these best practices, if we are saying, hey, for instance, custom labels, we're going to use custom labels for all major labeling so that we can make those changes somewhere else instead of inside of the actual code. And then we need to make sure that I do that. I don't want to hard code anything if I'm supposed to be using custom labels. And so in this scenario, I am following the instructions the way I'm supposed to. And then do I avoid technical debt, temporary shortcuts? For instance, hard coding when you shouldn't be, or when you are, working through, or you're kind of setting something up, and you're instead of following that bigger pattern or introducing, you're introducing something that's going to cause way more complications, be more harm than good. In this case, I am not. And so I'm going to create this pull request.